From poverty to prosperity, discover Iceland's incredible journey. Ever wondered how a small, isolated island nation transformed itself from one of Europe's poorest countries to a global leader in sustainability and quality of life? Prepare to be amazed by the incredible story of Iceland, a nation forged in fire and ice and driven by an unwavering spirit of innovation and resilience. Imagine Iceland in the year 1900, a remote outpost, heavily reliant on Denmark, with a population barely exceeding 70,000 souls. Life was a constant struggle against the elements. Infrastructure was virtually non-existent, and the vast majority of Icelanders lived in rural areas, scattered across a landscape sculpted by volcanoes and glaciers. The unforgiving climate dictated every aspect of their existence, leaving the economy perpetually vulnerable. For centuries, poverty and isolation had been the defining characteristics of Icelandic life. The fishing industry, their primary source of sustenance, was underdeveloped, relying on rudimentary techniques and small, open boats. Agricultural productivity was low, hampered by the short growing season and harsh conditions. Most families lived in turf houses, offering minimal protection from the elements. Malnutrition was widespread, and emigration was a common escape from the relentless hardships. Yet even in the face of adversity, the Icelandic people possessed a remarkable strength. Despite the challenges, Iceland boasted a highly literate population, deeply connected to its rich cultural heritage. This inherent strength, coupled with a fierce determination to shape their own destiny, would prove to be the foundation for their future transformation. The early 20th century witnessed a growing wave of national consciousness sweeping across Iceland. This burgeoning sense of identity fueled a powerful movement towards independence, driven by cultural nationalism and strategic political reforms. In 1874, Denmark granted Iceland a constitution, a significant step towards self-governance. By 1904, Iceland had achieved home rule, allowing them to manage their domestic affairs with increasing autonomy. This rising nationalism was deeply rooted in the preservation of the Icelandic language, the celebration of its unique literature, and the rediscovery of its rich history. Education became a central pillar of this movement, seen as the key to unlocking Iceland's potential. The culmination of these efforts came in 1918, when Iceland achieved full sovereignty as a separate kingdom, though still under the Danish crown. This hard-won victory paved the way for the final step, full independence. In 1944, amidst the turmoil of World War II, Iceland declared its complete independence, severing all ties with Denmark. This marked the birth of a new nation, determined to forge its own path on the world stage. The emergence of a strong democratic culture, characterized by transparency and active civic participation, further solidified Iceland's commitment to self-determination. The modernization of the fishing industry proved to be the catalyst for Iceland's economic transformation. This sector, once a source of hardship, became the engine of growth that propelled the nation towards prosperity. The transition from traditional rowboats to motorized vessels and advanced trawlers revolutionized the industry. This allowed Icelandic fishermen to venture further out to sea and harvest larger catches, significantly boosting their productivity. Following World War II, Iceland received crucial aid through the Marshall Plan, which was instrumental in rebuilding its fishing fleet and modernizing its infrastructure. This injection of capital provided the necessary resources to further develop the industry. The Cod Wars with the United Kingdom, a series of disputes over fishing rights, played a pivotal role in asserting Iceland's control over its vital fishing grounds. These confrontations, though tense, ultimately led to Iceland extending its exclusive economic zone, EZ, to 200 miles. This strategic move allowed Iceland to sustainably manage its fishing resources, ensuring the long-term health of its marine ecosystems and the prosperity of its fishing communities. Fish and fish products quickly became the cornerstone of the Icelandic economy, driving growth and creating jobs. Iceland's long-term investments in human capital have been a cornerstone of its success. Recognizing the importance of education, the nation prioritized universal access to quality schooling. This emphasis on education resulted in remarkably high literacy rates and expanded access to higher education opportunities for all Icelanders. The University of Iceland, established in 1911, became a vital center for research and innovation, driving technological advancements and fostering a culture of learning. Iceland's commitment to sustainability is exemplified by its pioneering use of renewable energy sources. Harnessing the power of its abundant geothermal and hydroelectric resources, Iceland has transformed its energy landscape. Today, nearly all of Iceland's energy production comes from renewable sources. Geothermal energy heats homes, powers industries, and provides a clean and sustainable alternative to fossil fuels. Hydropower provides the bulk of the nation's electricity, further reducing its carbon footprint. This commitment to renewable energy has not only benefited the environment, but has also attracted energy-intensive industries, such as aluminum smelting, creating new economic opportunities. The synergy between education, innovation, and sustainability has been a key driver of Iceland's prosperity. Iceland has developed a comprehensive welfare state, providing its citizens with a strong social safety net. This commitment to social well-being ensures that all Icelanders have access to essential services, regardless of their socio-economic background. Universal access to healthcare, education, and social security are fundamental rights in Iceland, financed through a progressive tax system that ensures a fair distribution of wealth. Gender equality is another cornerstone of Icelandic society, deeply ingrained in its culture and institutions. Women in Iceland won the right to vote in 1915, and the nation has consistently ranked among the top countries in the world in terms of gender equity measures. This commitment to equality has empowered women to participate fully in all aspects of society, contributing to Iceland's economic and social progress. Good governance, characterized by strong institutions and a transparent legal system, is essential to Iceland's success. Low levels of corruption and pragmatic political debates foster trust and stability, creating a favorable environment for economic growth and social development. Iceland has a long tradition of consensus building and dialogue, ensuring that all voices are heard and that decisions are made in the best interests of the nation. This collaborative approach to governance has been instrumental in navigating challenges and achieving shared goals. The 2008 financial crisis presented Iceland with its greatest challenge in recent history. The collapse of the nation's banking system sent shockwaves through the economy, threatening to undo decades of progress. Rapid deregulation in the years leading up to the crisis had allowed Icelandic banks to grow at an unsustainable pace, engaging in reckless lending practices. When the global financial crisis hit, these banks were unable to withstand the pressure, leading to their collapse. In a bold move, the Icelandic government allowed the banks to fail, prioritizing the protection of domestic deposits and the stability of the national economy. A special investigation commission was formed to investigate the causes of the crisis, and several bankers were prosecuted for their role in the collapse. The public demanded reforms, and a new constitution was drafted to address the systemic issues that had contributed to the crisis. In the aftermath of the crisis, Iceland embarked on a path of economic diversification and reinvention. Tourism emerged as a major growth sector, attracting visitors from around the world to experience Iceland's stunning natural beauty. Technology and creative industries flourished, driven by innovation and entrepreneurship. The crisis forced Iceland to diversify and modernize its economy, making it more resilient to future shocks. Iceland's journey from poverty to prosperity is a testament to the power of resilience, innovation, and community. By strategically leveraging its natural resources, cultural capital, and democratic values, Iceland has achieved remarkable success. The nation's strategic control of its fisheries, its unwavering investments in education and clean energy, and its commitment to social welfare have all contributed to its transformation. Iceland's willingness to adapt and reform in the face of adversity has been a key factor in its success. Iceland's story offers valuable lessons for other nations striving to achieve sustainable development and improve the quality of life for their citizens. Its legacy as one of the most compelling national transformations of the 20th and 21st centuries serves as a beacon of hope for the future. Ready to experience the magic of Iceland for yourself? Book your trip today and witness firsthand the breathtaking landscapes, vibrant culture, and innovative spirit that make this nation so extraordinary. Visit our website to explore curated travel packages, discover hidden gems, and plan your unforgettable Icelandic adventure. Don't just dream about Iceland, experience it. The haunting ballad of Selkolla, an Icelandic enigma. Have you ever felt the pull of the ocean, a whisper in your soul calling you home? Icelanders know this feeling well, for the sea holds our history, our myths, and perhaps the most haunting of all, the tale of Selkolla, the Seal Woman. Prepare to delve into a story woven from mist, magic, and the secrets that lie beneath the waves. In the rugged volcanic landscape of Reykjanes, where the earth hisses and the sea crashes against black cliffs, a mystery was born. A woman, touched by the sea's enigmatic embrace, gave birth to a child unlike any other. They named her Selkolla, but whispers followed her like the sea fog. Her eyes, dark and fathomless, mirrored the depths of the ocean. Her skin, cool and smooth, felt like the touch of seawater. From her earliest days, Selkolla was drawn to the shore, spending hours gazing at the horizon as if listening to a song only she could hear. Was she merely a child of Iceland or something more, something ancient and wild? The whispers turned to unease when Selkolla, barely 6 years old, disappeared without a trace. One moment she was playing near the shore, the next she was gone, swallowed by the vastness of the Icelandic coast. Her mother, heartbroken, searched tirelessly, her cries echoing against the unforgiving cliffs. Some said the sea had claimed her own, pulling Selkolla back into its watery embrace. Others whispered of a transformation, a shedding of skin, and a new life as one of the seals that frequented the shores. The truth, like the ocean depths, remained shrouded in mystery, a haunting question mark etched into the landscape. Did she drown, or did she finally find her true home? Years turned into decades, and the memory of Selkolla faded into the mists of time. Then one blustery autumn night, a Norwegian merchant ship sought refuge in the harbor near Reykjanes. A storm, fierce and unforgiving, descended upon the coast, threatening to tear the ship apart. Amidst the chaos, a figure emerged from the raging sea. A woman cloaked in sealskin, her long black hair plastered to her face, walked calmly towards the ship. Her eyes, large and luminous, held a strange, unsettling familiarity. She introduced herself as Selkolla, seeking shelter from the storm. But was she truly a castaway or something far more ancient and powerful, drawn from the depths by the storm's fury? The merchant, captivated by her ethereal beauty, welcomed Selkolla aboard. The storm miraculously subsided, as if the sea itself had calmed at her command. Yet her presence brought an unsettling aura to the ship. The crew, initially charmed by her quiet demeanor, began to experience strange occurrences. Nightmares plagued their sleep, visions of colossal seals lurking beneath the waves. Unexplained cries echoed through the ship's corridors, and one sailor swore he saw Selkolla walking on water, disappearing beneath the waves only to reappear moments later, dry and composed. Was she a blessing, or a harbinger of doom, a creature of the sea bringing its mysteries and its wrath to the human world? The merchant, blinded by infatuation, proposed to take Selkolla to Norway and make her his wife. She offered no answer, only a haunting smile that sent shivers down his spine. He saw in her a chance to tame the wildness of Iceland, to possess a piece of its untamed beauty. One night he stumbled upon her secret. In the dim light of the ship's hold, he saw her remove her sealskin cloak, and for a fleeting moment, her features transformed, revealing the face of a seal, with eyes that glowed with an otherworldly light. He was terrified, yet also strangely drawn to the power she possessed. Could he truly love someone who belonged to a world beyond human comprehension? As the ship sailed towards Norway, the journey became increasingly fraught with peril. The winds turned against them, food spoiled, and sickness spread among the crew. Some men succumbed to madness, leaping into the icy waters drawn by an unseen force. The sea seemed to be rejecting their intrusion, punishing them for taking one of its own. The merchant, desperate, clung to his love for Selkola, yet the fear gnawed at him. He knew he was tampering with something ancient and powerful, something that could not be contained. Was he leading them all to their doom, driven by his selfish desire to possess the seal woman? Nearing the shores of Norway, the merchant, consumed by fear and guilt, sought counsel from a local priest. The priest, wise in the ways of the old world, listened intently to his tale and delivered a chilling verdict. Selkola was not entirely human, but a creature of the sea. To break the curse that plagued them, he must return her sealskin to the ocean. The merchant was torn. He loved Selkola, but he also feared the consequences of defying the natural order. He locked the sealskin cloak away, hoping to bind her to the human world, to force her to choose him over her true nature. But could love truly conquer the call of the wild, the ancient bond between Selkola and the sea? As the full moon cast its ethereal glow upon the ship, Selkola, weakened and heartbroken, discovered the key to the chest where her sealskin was hidden. With a surge of primal instinct, she retrieved her cloak and fled towards the shore, drawn by the irresistible pull of the ocean. The merchant followed, begging her to stay, promising her a life of comfort and love. But Selkola turned to him, her eyes filled with a profound sadness. "You loved me," she said, her voice like the whisper of the waves, "but you did not understand me. I belong to the sea." With those words, she donned her sealskin and plunged into the ocean, disappearing beneath the waves, leaving the merchant alone with his regret. Was it a tragic end, or a triumphant return to her true self? The merchant, forever haunted by his actions, returned to Iceland a broken man. He spent his days wandering the shores of Reykjanes, calling out Selkola's name, forever yearning for the woman he could never truly possess. To this day, it is said that Selkola appears on the shores during storms, a spectral figure warning sailors of impending danger. Some claim to see her seal-like eyes watching from the waves, her voice carried on the wind, a haunting melody of sorrow and longing. Is she a vengeful spirit or a benevolent guardian, forever bound to the land and the sea? The tale of Selkola is more than just a ghost story. It is a profound exploration of identity, freedom, and the delicate balance between the human world and the natural world. Selkola, caught between two worlds, embodies the wild, untamed spirit of Iceland, a reminder of the power and mystery of the ocean. Her story teaches us to respect the forces of nature, to embrace the unknown, and to understand that some things cannot be owned or controlled. She represents the enduring connection between the Icelandic people and the sea, a bond forged in hardship and shaped by the ever-present threat and beauty of the ocean. The legend of Selkola continues to resonate through generations of Icelanders, a cautionary tale and a celebration of the wild, untamed spirit that defines our land. Whether she was a real woman or a figment of our collective imagination, her story serves as a reminder of the enduring power of myth and the enduring allure of the sea. So the next time you find yourself walking along the black sand beaches of Iceland, listening to the roar of the waves, remember Selkola. Listen closely, for you might just hear her voice carried on the wind, a haunting melody from the depths, a reminder that the sea never forgets and its stories never truly end. The tale of Selkola is a haunting reminder of the power and mystery of the Icelandic sea. It speaks to our connection to nature, the allure of the unknown, and the enduring strength of the wild spirit within us. But the story doesn't end here. Now it's your turn to become part of the legend. Share this story. Pass on the haunting ballad of Selkola to your fellow Icelandic culture enthusiasts and keep the legend alive. Explore Iceland. Plan a trip to Reykjanes and walk the shores where Selkola's story began. Feel the power of the sea and imagine her presence in the waves. Dive deeper. Research other Icelandic folklore and myths. Discover the rich tapestry of stories that shape our culture and connect us to our past. Reflect on the message. Consider the themes of freedom, identity, and respect for nature in Selkola's tale. How do these resonate with your own life and values? Let the story of Selkola inspire you to connect with the wild beauty of Iceland and the enduring power of its myths. The sea is calling, and its stories are waiting to be discovered. whispers from the edge of reality, where stories come alive. Have you ever felt a shiver down your spine, not from cold, but from a story that burrows deep into your soul? Welcome, fellow traveler, to a place where imagination takes flight and reality bends to the will of narrative. In the heart of Iceland, where glaciers carve paths through ancient rock and the northern lights dance across the sky, stories are not just told, they are lived. They are the echoes of Vikings, the whispers of elves, and the very breath of the land itself. For generations, Icelanders have huddled around crackling fires, sharing tales that have been passed down through the ages. These stories, filled with bravery, wonder, and a touch of the uncanny, are the lifeblood of our culture. They teach us, warn us, and remind us of the magic that still lingers in the world. My heart beats to the rhythm of stories. I am a storyteller, a weaver of worlds, a dreamer who dares to bring the unseen into the light. I find joy in listening to tales, in retelling them, and most of all in crafting my own. Some of my stories are inspired by the rugged beauty of Iceland, by its ancient sagas and its hidden folklore. Others are born from the depths of my imagination, from the vivid images and swirling thoughts that populate my mind. I take liberties, of course, bending the truth, adding a touch of darkness, a spark of wonder to make each story truly unforgettable. But these stories are not meant to remain trapped on the page. I breathe life into them through video, a symphony of voice, music, sound effects, and visuals that create an immersive experience. I want you to feel the wind on your face, hear the rustle of leaves in a haunted forest, and see the glint of magic in a forgotten artifact. My goal is to let the story speak for itself, to allow it to unfold naturally, to captivate your senses and leave you breathless. Whether it's the mournful cry of a raven or the echoing footsteps in an abandoned castle, every element is carefully chosen to enhance the narrative. My videos are short and designed to ignite your imagination and leave you wanting more. They are glimpses into other worlds, whispers from the edge of reality. Some are shrouded in mystery, leaving you to ponder the unanswered questions. Others carry a hint of eeriness, a reminder that the world is full of things we cannot explain. And then there are the stories that overflow with wonder, tales of ancient magic, forgotten places, unexplained phenomena, strange coincidences, and individuals who may or may not have walked among us. They are the stories that remind us of the boundless possibilities that lie just beyond the veil of the ordinary. If you are a lover of stories, if you appreciate the art of storytelling, if you believe in the power of imagination, then you have found your haven. This is a place where fact and fiction dance together, where reality and fantasy intertwine, where anything is possible. Here, we explore the liminal spaces, the places where the known meets the unknown, where the mundane transforms into the magical. We delve into the mysteries of the universe, the secrets of the human heart, and the power of stories to shape our world. Storytelling is more than just entertainment. It is a way to connect with each other, to share our experiences, and to understand the world around us. Stories can inspire us to be better, to dream bigger, and to overcome our fears. They can teach us about empathy, compassion, and the importance of human connection. In a world that often feels fragmented and disconnected, stories can bring us together, reminding us that we are all part of a larger narrative. They can give us hope in the face of adversity, and they can help us to find meaning in our lives. I strive to create an imaginative tone in my storytelling, to transport you to other worlds, and to make you believe in the impossible. I want you to feel like you are right there in the story, experiencing it firsthand. I use vivid language, evocative imagery, and a touch of whimsy to create a sense of wonder and enchantment. I want you to forget about your worries and your troubles and to simply lose yourself in the magic of the story. My stories are not just meant to entertain. They are also meant to inspire. I want to ignite the spark within you, to encourage you to pursue your dreams, to believe in yourself, and to make a difference in the world. I believe that everyone has a story to tell, and I want to empower you to share your voice. I want to create a community of storytellers where we can support each other, learn from each other, and inspire each other to create amazing things. This channel is for you, The storytelling fans, the dreamers, the believers. It's a place where we can share our love of stories, discuss our favorite characters, and explore the power of narrative. I want to create a dialogue with you, to hear your thoughts and opinions, and to learn from your experiences. I want to build a community where we can all feel welcome, supported, and inspired. So I have a small request, a humble invitation to join me on this journey. Hit that subscribe button, become a part of our growing community, and let's explore the world of stories together. Give a thumbs up if a story resonates with you, if it touches your heart, if it sparks your imagination. And please drop a comment. Share your thoughts, ask a question, tell me what you loved, or simply say hi. Your engagement means more than you might realize. Your insights, your perspectives, and your very presence could very well inspire the next story, the next adventure, and the next leap into the unknown. Step into this cozy corner of the internet, where tales still hold significance, where imagination reigns supreme, and where the power of story can change the world. Turn on the light, or don't embrace the shadows, and let the story unfold. Let it wash over you, let it transform you. Welcome to the beginning of something magical. The Mountains Promise, an Icelandic saga of respect and cultural preservation. Discover the enchanting tale of Hrafnsdalur, where the majestic Eldfjall mountain whispers ancient secrets and the spirit of Iceland thrives. Prepare to be captivated by a story that celebrates the profound connection between people, nature, and cultural heritage. Nestled in a serene fjord on Iceland's western edge, the quaint village of Hrafnsdalur lies between a crystalline river and the imposing, snow-crowned Eldfjall mountain. The villagers hold a deep-seated belief that Eldfjall is not merely a geological formation, but a sentient being, alive with breath, vision, and a watchful presence over their lives. This reverence for nature is the cornerstone of their cultural identity. Legends abound of hidden beings dwelling within the mountain's cliffs, elves dancing beneath the silvery moonlight, and spirits weaving through the verdant moss. Children are cautioned against raising their voices or casting stones near Eldfjall for fear of stirring its slumbering wrath. This respect is not just superstition, it's a deeply ingrained understanding of the delicate balance between humanity and the natural world. The tale of the ill-fated tunnel project serves as a stark reminder of the mountain's power. Years ago, when workers attempted to carve a passage through Eldfjall, a catastrophic landslide obliterated their equipment, halting the endeavor. Since then, the mountain has remained in a state of watchful tranquility, a silent guardian of Hrafnsdalur's cultural heritage. In the heart of Hrafnsdalur resides Brynja, a young woman with raven-black hair and eyes mirroring the hues of sea glass. Renowned for her strength, compassion, and profound connection to nature, Brynja embodies the spirit of Iceland. Raised by her grandmother, Asdís, after her parents tragically perished in a snowstorm on Eldfjall, Brynja inherited a deep respect for the old ways. Asdís, a staunch believer in ancestral traditions, practiced rituals of reverence towards nature. She would leave offerings of bread and butter on sacred stones, chanting softly while traversing the moss-covered landscapes, and impart the wisdom that nature listens not in words, but in the whispers of the wind, the moods of the weather, and the subtle movements of the earth. This intimate connection to the land is a vital part of Icelandic cultural preservation. Under Asdís's tutelage, Brynja learned the secrets of the land, the locations of wild herbs, the art of walking lightly on lava fields, and the ability to decipher the language of the clouds that gathered around Eldfjall's peak. She embraced the ancient stories, recognizing the undeniable truth woven into the fabric of their cultural heritage. One summer, a wealthy foreign investor named Halldór Jensen arrived in Hrafnsdalur, bearing grand plans for a luxurious resort along the riverbank, complete with cabins and hot spring spas. Promising jobs and prosperity, he had already acquired land on Eldfjall's lower slopes. This posed a direct threat to the village's cultural preservation efforts. During a village meeting, Brynja voiced her concerns, stating, "You cannot build there. That land belongs to the mountain." Her words echoed the deep-seated respect for nature that defined Hrafnsdalur's cultural identity. Halldór dismissed her concerns, asserting, "The mountain is not a person. "We own the land and we will take good care of it." His words revealed a fundamental misunderstanding of the villagers' profound connection to the land and their commitment to cultural preservation. Brynja understood that respect transcended mere ownership or good intentions. It required a deep understanding and a willingness to listen to the whispers of the land, a cornerstone of Icelandic cultural heritage. As construction commenced late that summer, the sounds of trees being felled and machines rumbling filled the air, casting a pall of silence over the village. Brynja and Ásdís ventured to the edge of the construction site, leaving a small offering near an ancient stone known as the Elf's Peace Place, a site of profound cultural significance. "They have disturbed something," Ásdís whispered, her voice filled with concern, "and it will not return to its slumber so easily." Her words foreshadowed the consequences of disregarding the mountain's spirit and the importance of cultural preservation. Soon, strange occurrences began to plague the construction site. Tools vanished without a trace, tires inexplicably burst, and a concrete foundation cracked on a clear, dry day. Workers reported hearing whispers at dusk as if voices were emanating from the rocks themselves. These events served as a warning, a reminder of the mountain's power and the importance of respecting its spirit. One morning, a crane toppled over without any apparent cause, shaking the workers and prompting a local priest to bless the site. Brynja suggested seeking peace with the hidden folk through her grandmother's mediation, a practice deeply rooted in Icelandic cultural heritage. Skepticism prevailed until Haldor's expensive drone disappeared, its last recorded footage showing it flying towards a stone that had mysteriously appeared. This incident finally convinced Haldor to consider the villagers' beliefs and the importance of cultural preservation. Haldor reluctantly agreed to a ceremony. Ásdís brought offerings of bread, butter, and dried fish to the Elf's Peace Place, a site steeped in cultural significance. She lit a candle and recited ancient words, while Brynja stood beside her, a cold wind sweeping down from the mountain. "Ask for forgiveness," Ásdís whispered, urging Haldor to acknowledge the disruption caused by the construction. Haldor mumbled an apology, and that night the wind subsided, and the stars shone brightly. While the immediate disturbances ceased, the underlying tension remained, a reminder that true reconciliation required more than just a superficial apology. As winter approached, heavy snow fell prematurely, freezing the roads and causing a flash flood that washed away part of the construction site. Brynja recognized these events as the mountain's way of communicating, expressing its displeasure at the continued disregard for its spirit. She hiked to the ruined foundation, where moss had already begun to reclaim the cracks, symbolizing nature's resilience and the importance of respecting its power. That night, she dreamt of standing before stone figures with glowing eyes and deep, rumbling voices. "You know our ways," the figures said, "but the stranger does not. You must choose, teach him or send him away." This dream served as a call to action, urging Brynja to bridge the gap between Haldor's ignorance and the mountain's wisdom. Awakening to find frost on her window pane shaped like ancient runes, Brynja understood the gravity of her task. She had to guide Haldor towards understanding and respecting the mountain's spirit, or risk facing its wrath. The following day, Brynja invited Haldor to accompany her on a journey up Eldfjall. Despite his reluctance, he agreed. They ascended in silence, the wind howling as they neared the summit. They discovered a cave rimmed with ice, and Brynja led him inside, illuminating the space with a lantern. The cave walls were adorned with ancient drawings depicting elves, deer, and people offering gifts to the mountain. These images served as a visual testament to the long-standing relationship between the villagers and the land, emphasizing the importance of cultural preservation. "Your people lived in harmony with the land," Brynja explained. "They asked before they took. Everything here is alive." Her words resonated with the power of ancestral wisdom, urging Haldor to reconsider his approach to development. Haldor, for the first time, listened with an open mind, kneeling before the drawings and absorbing the stories they conveyed. He began to understand the profound connection between the villagers and the mountain, and the importance of respecting their cultural heritage. Haldor made the decision to halt the construction project and seek guidance from Brynja and Asdís. Together, they embarked on a collaborative effort to redesign the resort, prioritizing harmony with nature and respect for the mountain spirit. The revised plans included fewer cabins, the preservation of existing trees, and the construction of raised walkways above the moss. Every guest would be educated about the stories and beliefs associated with the mountain, fostering a deeper appreciation for Icelandic cultural heritage. Instead of fighting against nature, they chose to work in harmony with it, creating a sustainable and culturally sensitive development that honored the spirit of Eldfjall. The resort eventually opened, not as a symbol of luxury, but as a sanctuary for learning and connection. Visitors flocked to hear stories under the starlit sky, leave small offerings by the sacred stones, and experience the quiet power of Eldfjall. The mountain remained silent, but its presence was palpable, radiating a sense of peace and contentment. The resort became a testament to the power of collaboration, cultural preservation, and respect for the natural world. Each spring, as the first wildflowers bloomed near the elf's peace place, Brynja would smile, knowing that the mountain's promise had been kept. The legacy of Hrafnsdalur lived on, inspiring others to embrace a more sustainable and culturally sensitive approach to development. Years later, Brynja became the village storyteller, passing down the ancient tales and traditions to her children and grandchildren. They learned to walk gently on the land, listen to the whispers of the wind, and speak kindly to the earth, ensuring the continuation of Hrafnsdalur's cultural heritage. Tourists often inquired about the veracity of the stories. Brynja would respond with a smile, "Truth is not always about facts. It is about how we choose to live." Her words encapsulated the essence of Icelandic cultural preservation, emphasizing the importance of living in harmony with nature and respecting the wisdom of the ancestors. And if you stood very still near Eldfjall, you might just hear it. The soft breath of the mountain, the laughter of the hidden folk, and the quiet, unwavering promise of a land that remembers everything. The spirit of Iceland lives on, whispering its secrets to those who are willing to listen. Are you ready to embark on a journey of cultural discovery and connect with the soul of Iceland? Visit Hrafnsdalur and experience the magic of Eldfjall firsthand. Learn the ancient stories, respect the land, and become a part of the legacy of cultural preservation. Discover the transformative power of nature and tradition. Share this story with your friends and family and inspire them to embrace a more sustainable and culturally sensitive way of life. Together, we can ensure that the spirit of Iceland continues to thrive for generations to come. The mystical guardian of Snæfellsjökull, unveiling the legend of Bardur Snæfellsás. Dare to journey into the heart of Icelandic folklore, where ancient sagas whisper on the wind and the veil between worlds thins. Prepare to be captivated by the tale of Bardur Snæfellsás, a figure shrouded in mystery, a guardian of the land, and a testament to the enduring power of myth. Bardur Snæfellsás isn't just a character in a story. He's an embodiment of Iceland's soul, a tapestry woven from history, myth, and the raw, untamed beauty of the Snæfellsnes Peninsula. This region, a miniature Iceland in itself, is where Bardur's legend truly comes alive, a place where the mystical and the mundane intertwine. Born of a human king and a mountain giantess, Bardur was a being of dual nature, possessing both the intellect and empathy of humankind and the raw power and mystical abilities of the ancient trolls. This unique heritage shaped his destiny, setting him on a path that would transform him from a man into a legend. Imagine a world where the lines between human and troll blur, where the very mountains whisper secrets of old. Bardur's story invites us to explore this realm, to question the boundaries of our own understanding, and to embrace the magic that lies hidden within the natural world. Driven from his homeland by the rising tide of Norse settlers and their intolerance towards the different, Bardur sought refuge in the uncharted lands of Iceland. This wasn't merely a migration. It was a spiritual quest, a search for a place where he could live in harmony with his true self. Picture the longships slicing through the turbulent North Atlantic, carrying Bardur, his family and his followers towards an uncertain future. Their destination, The Snæfellsnes Peninsula, a land dominated by the majestic Snæfellsjökull glacier, a beacon of hope and a promise of sanctuary. As a mythology student or folklore enthusiast, you'll appreciate the parallels between Bardur's journey and the archetypal hero's quest. He leaves behind the familiar, faces adversity, and ultimately finds his purpose in a new and challenging environment. Upon arriving in Snæfellsnes, Bardur established a settlement, not as a conqueror, but as a steward of the land. He understood the delicate balance of nature and sought to live in harmony with it, a stark contrast to many settlers who sought to dominate and exploit the environment. Envision Bardur's longhouse, a symbol of community and connection to the land, nestled amidst the rugged landscape. He ruled with wisdom and fairness, guiding his people with respect and understanding, earning their loyalty and admiration. For tourists seeking an authentic Icelandic experience, Bardur's story offers a powerful message: to appreciate the land, to respect its power, and to tread lightly upon its surface. It's a reminder that true connection comes from understanding, not exploitation. The idyllic existence of Bardur's settlement was shattered by tragedy. The loss of his daughter, Helga, in a cruel act orchestrated by a rival, Rauda, unleashed a torrent of grief and rage within him. This event marked a turning point in his life, setting him on a path towards spiritual transformation. Imagine the despair Bardur must have felt, the agonizing search for his daughter, the burning desire for revenge. This tragedy humanizes him, reminding us that even legendary figures are susceptible to the same emotions as ordinary mortals. This episode is a crucial element of Bardur's legend, highlighting the themes of loss, vengeance, and the consequences of unchecked anger. It's a reminder that even justified actions can have unintended consequences, leading to profound personal change. Haunted by his actions and weary of the ways of men, Bardur made a profound decision: to renounce his worldly possessions and embrace the wild, untamed spirit of Snæfellsjökull. He walked into the icy embrace of the glacier, shedding his human identity and becoming one with the forces of nature. Picture Bardur ascending the slopes of Snæfellsjökull, leaving behind his weapons, his clothes, and his past. This act of self-renunciation is a powerful symbol of spiritual transformation, a rejection of the material world in favor of a deeper connection to the natural world. For mythology students, this transformation echoes the shamanic traditions of many cultures, where individuals undergo a period of isolation and hardship to gain spiritual insight and power. Bardur's ascent into Snæfellsjökull is his initiation, his passage into the realm of the supernatural. From that day forward, Bardur was no longer just a man. He became a guardian spirit, a protector of the Snæfellsnes Peninsula. Stories of encounters with him have been passed down through generations, tales of a tall, imposing figure appearing in times of need, offering guidance and protection. Imagine a lost traveler stumbling through a blizzard, suddenly encountering a towering figure who leads them to safety. Or a farmer facing drought, receiving divine guidance in a dream, leading them to a hidden spring. These stories are not mere folklore. They are testaments to the enduring belief in Bardur's presence. For folklore enthusiasts, these tales offer a glimpse into the rich tapestry of Icelandic beliefs, where the boundaries between the natural and supernatural are blurred. They are a reminder that the land itself is imbued with spirit, and that those who respect it will be rewarded. Bardur Snæfellsnes remains a vital figure in Icelandic culture, his legend woven into the fabric of the Snæfellsnes Peninsula. His story is told and retold, inspiring artists, writers, and musicians, and reminding Icelanders of their deep connection to the land. Visit the Snæfellsnes Peninsula, and you'll find his presence everywhere, from the place names that bear his mark to the local guides who share his story with passion and reverence. His legend is not just a relic of the past, it's a living, breathing part of Icelandic identity. For tourists, Bardur's story offers a deeper understanding of Icelandic culture, a glimpse into the values and beliefs that have shaped the nation. It's a reminder that Iceland is more than just a beautiful landscape. It's a land steeped in history, myth, and magic, Embark on a journey to the Snæfellsnes Peninsula and immerse yourself in the world of Bardur Snæfellsnes. Here are some must-see locations that bring his legend to life. Snæfellsjökull National Park. Hike to the base of the glacier and feel the power of Bardur's domain. Imagine him watching over you from the icy heights. Arnastapi and Helna. Explore the dramatic coastline where Helga was lost at sea. Reflect on the tragedy that shaped Bardur's destiny. Raudfellsgjá Gorge. Venture into this narrow gorge, said to be where Bardur confronted Roda. Feel the echoes of his rage and grief. Londrangar Basalt Cliffs. Marvel at these towering sea stacks, said to be the home of elves and other supernatural beings. Connect with the mystical energy of the peninsula. Djúpalónsandur Black Sand Beach. Walk along this dramatic beach and imagine the longships arriving, bringing Bardur and his followers to Iceland. As you explore these locations, remember Bardur's story and the values he represents. Respect for nature, harmony with the land, and the enduring power of the human spirit. Delve deeper into the legend of Bardur Snæfellsnes by reading the Bardar Saga Snæfellsnes, an Icelandic saga that recounts his life, adventures, and transformation. This saga offers a rich and detailed account of his story, providing insights into his character, his motivations, and the world he inhabited. The saga is a valuable resource for mythology students and folklore enthusiasts, offering a glimpse into the beliefs and values of medieval Iceland. It's a reminder that Bardur's story is not just a legend, it's a reflection of the cultural and historical context in which it was created. The story of Bardur Snæfellsnes is more than just a folk tale. It's a reflection of Iceland's deep connection to its landscape and mythology. His transformation from a man into a guardian spirit symbolizes the harmony between humans and nature, reminding us that true strength comes not from dominance, but from understanding and respect. Even today, travelers to Snæfellsjökull can feel the weight of his legend in the icy winds and shifting mists. Whether seen as a literal protector or a metaphor for the untamed spirit of Iceland, Bardur's presence endures, a timeless guardian of one of the most mystical places on Earth. Are you ready to delve deeper into the mystical world of Bardur Snæfellsnes? Here's how you can continue your journey. Plan a trip to the Snæfellsnes Peninsula. Experience the magic of Bardur's realm firsthand. Read the Bardar Saga Snæfellsnes. Immerse yourself in the literary world of Icelandic sagas. Share Bardur's story with others. Help keep the legend alive for future generations. Reflect on the values he represents. Strive to live in harmony with nature and respect the power of the land. By taking these actions, you'll not only deepen your understanding of Icelandic folklore, but also connect with the enduring spirit of Bardur Snæfellsnes, the mystical guardian of Snæfellsjökull. Let his legend inspire you to embrace the magic that lies within the natural world and to become a steward of our planet. The Whispers of Dyrhólaey, Iceland's haunted cliffs. Dare to listen? The wind carries secrets on the cliffs of Dyrhólaey, secrets that chill the soul and whisper of a past best left undisturbed. Are you brave enough to uncover the truth behind the screaming stones? The towering cliffs of Dyrhólaey, a sentinel against the unforgiving North Atlantic, hold more than just breathtaking views. For generations, the people of Vik have whispered tales of eerie sounds emanating from the basalt formations. These aren't the cries of seabirds, but something far more unsettling. Locals speak of wails carried on the wind, sounds that defy explanation. They are neither human nor animal, but something trapped between worlds. These chilling echoes have earned the rocks a haunting name, the Screaming Stones. Legends paint a grim picture of the stones' origins. Some say they hold the tormented spirits of shipwrecked sailors, forever reliving their final moments. Others believe they are the result of an ancient curse, a punishment from forgotten gods. The truth, shrouded in mist and fear, remains elusive. In the summer of 1893, Dr. Elias Thorvaldsson, a historian with a passion for Icelandic folklore, arrived in Vik. He was drawn by the chilling tales of the Screaming Stones, seeking to unravel the mystery behind the haunting sounds. Elias, a man of logic, dismissed ghost stories as mere superstition. Yet his fascination with Icelandic folklore compelled him to investigate the unsettling legends. He sought to find a rational explanation for the phenomena, determined to separate fact from fiction. Little did he know, he was about to confront a reality that would challenge his very beliefs. Elias sought out the wisdom of the village elders, listening intently to their stories. They spoke of fishermen swallowed by the waves and shepherds who vanished near the cliffs. One woman, an aged seer named Gudrun, offered a chilling warning. The stones remember, the past is never silent. Undeterred by the ominous warnings, Elias planned a nighttime expedition to the cliffs. He was convinced that he would find a natural explanation for the sounds, a scientific answer to the supernatural claims. He prepared for his journey, unaware of the darkness that awaited him. Under the pale glow of the moon, Elias and his assistant Arni began their ascent up the rugged path to Dyrhóla's peak. The air was thick with the scent of salt and damp earth, a primal aroma that heightened their senses. As they approached the first basalt formation, a low murmur drifted through the wind. Arni, skeptical but undeniably uneasy, gripped his lantern tightly. The flickering light cast dancing shadows on the jagged rocks, adding to the unsettling atmosphere. He couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched, that unseen eyes were upon them. The whispering grew louder, morphing into distinct, agonizing words that filled the air. The voices were unlike anything they had ever heard, devoid of life yet filled with immeasurable suffering. Elias, his rational mind faltering, reached out and pressed his hand against the nearest stone. The rock was warm, unnaturally so, as if it held a burning ember within. Suddenly a sharp, wailing cry erupted from within the stone, piercing the night's silence. Both men stumbled back in horror, their hearts pounding in their chests. The sound was a raw, visceral expression of pain, a sound that would forever haunt their dreams. The next morning, shaken but determined, Elias delved into historical records, seeking answers in the dusty pages of the past. He unearthed accounts of a tragic event from the 14th century, a dark chapter in Iceland's history. A fleet of Norse seafarers, falsely accused of witchcraft and heresy, had been sentenced to a gruesome death. They were bound in chains and thrown from the cliffs into the raging sea below, their cries of innocence lost to the wind and waves. Some stories claimed that the condemned in their dying breaths had cursed their executioners, vowing to make their suffering known for all eternity. The more Elias read, the more he began to believe that the legends of the Screaming Stones were rooted in something far older and darker than he had ever imagined. The stones were not merely echoing natural phenomena, but resonating with the pain and anguish of the past. He realized that the curse of the seafarers was not just a legend, but a tangible force that continued to haunt Dyrhóla. The weight of history pressed down on him, a heavy burden of sorrow and injustice. He knew he had to find a way to break the curse, to bring peace to the tormented spirits. Driven by a sense of responsibility, Elias sought Gudrun's guidance, hoping to find a way to appease the restless spirits. The seer revealed that the only way to break the curse was through the ancient ritual of remembrance, a ceremony steeped in tradition and folklore. The ritual required an offering, something of personal value to be left on the stones. Along with the offering, a chant in the old tongue, the language of their ancestors, was needed, asking the spirits to find peace and release. The ritual was a delicate balance between the physical and the spiritual, a plea for forgiveness and reconciliation. On the eve of the summer solstice, a night when the veil between worlds is said to be thin, Elias, Arni, and a small group of villagers ascended the cliffs once more. Each carried an offering, a symbol of the lives lost to the sea and the passage of time. A fisherman's net, representing the livelihood of the village, a child's wooden toy, a reminder of innocence lost, and a Viking coin, a relic of a bygone era, were among the items brought to appease the spirits. As Gudrun led the chant, her voice resonating with ancient power, the wind howled violently, and the stones trembled beneath their feet. For a moment, the cries of anguish peaked to an unbearable crescendo, a symphony of sorrow that echoed through the ages. Then, as suddenly as it began, silence descended upon the cliffs, a profound and unsettling quiet. The air was still, the wind no longer carried the tormented cries, and the stones stood silent as if holding their breath. From that night onward, the screaming stones fell silent. The villagers no longer feared Diroli after sundown, and the cliffs became a place of beauty and tranquility once more. Elias, forever changed by his experience, continued his work, documenting the event as a testament to the power of history and remembrance. He wrote extensively about the ritual, the legends, and the impact the experience had on his understanding of the world. He hoped that his work would serve as a reminder of the importance of honoring the past and seeking justice for those who had been wronged. Yet, despite the apparent success of the ritual, Elias found himself plagued by doubts. What if the silence was only temporary? What if the spirits remained, waiting for another opportunity to make their presence known? He couldn't shake the feeling that the curse was merely dormant, not broken. Determined to ensure that the past had truly been laid to rest, Elias remained in Vik for another year, conducting further research and speaking with more locals. He sought to uncover any remaining secrets, any lingering traces of the curse. He discovered an old manuscript hidden in the village archives, a fragile document written by a 16th century monk named Brother Leifur. The text spoke of a secret society within the church that had attempted to exorcise the spirits centuries ago, but had failed miserably. Their efforts had only strengthened the curse, making the screaming stones even more tormented than before. The manuscript warned against interfering with the spirits, stating that some wounds are too deep to heal. Elias realized that history often repeats itself, and if the ritual had not been performed correctly, the curse could return with even greater force. The monk's words filled him with a sense of dread, casting a shadow over his previous success. He knew that he had to be vigilant, to watch for any signs of the curse returning. He dedicated his life to protecting Dirole, ensuring that the spirits remained at peace. Years passed, and the legend of the screaming stones slowly faded into history, becoming a distant memory for most. But one fateful night in 1932, a fisherman named Halldor claimed to have heard the screams once more, shattering the illusion of peace. He had been caught in a storm near Dirole, when he swore he heard voices rising from the waves, pleading for release. The voices were filled with despair, their cries echoing the torment of the past. The villagers dismissed his account at first, believing the tale to be nothing more than drunken ramblings. But when another fisherman vanished near the cliffs days later, they began to wonder if the curse had truly been broken. Fear gripped the village once more, and the whispers of the screaming stones returned, haunting their dreams. The disappearance of the fisherman served as a grim reminder of the power of the curse, a testament to the enduring pain of the past. The villagers knew that they had to act, to find a way to appease the spirits once and for all. A new group of scholars arrived, eager to investigate the renewed claims of haunting. Among them was Magnus Thorvaldsson, the great-grandson of Elias, carrying the weight of his ancestors' legacy. He had grown up hearing the stories of his ancestors' work and was determined to prove, once and for all, whether the legend was real. He felt a deep connection to Dirole, a sense of responsibility to uncover the truth behind the screaming stones. With modern recording equipment and scientific methods, he set up camp at the cliffs, hoping to capture the voices on tape and analyze the phenomena with a fresh perspective. Magnus and his team spent weeks studying the stones, using sound equipment to analyze the echoes and reverberations. They recorded strange frequencies, sounds that did not match the natural elements of the cliffs. The sounds were unlike anything they had ever encountered, defying explanation. Some voices were faint, whispering in languages long forgotten, their words lost to time. Others were more distinct, crying out in anguish, their pain echoing through the ages. When Magnus played the recordings back, he realized that some of the voices were repeating the very words Elias had written in his journal a century earlier. Could the spirits be aware of their attempts to communicate? Or were they merely echoes of the past, trapped in the stone, forever reliving their torment? The question haunted Magnus, driving him to seek a definitive answer. Determined to end the mystery once and for all, Magnus enlisted the help of modern-day spiritualists and historians, combining ancient wisdom with scientific rigor. They performed a new ceremony at the cliffs, this time using both ancient rituals and modern scientific methods, hoping to bridge the gap between the physical and the spiritual. As they chanted, their voices resonating with a blend of ancient and modern languages, the winds howled once more, and for a brief moment, the cliffs seemed to tremble, as if responding to their plea. Then, a deafening silence fell over the landscape, a profound quiet that held the weight of centuries. The recordings taken that night revealed something chilling, an unmistakable voice whispering in Icelandic, "Thank you." The voice was clear and distinct, filled with a sense of peace and gratitude. It was as if the spirits had finally found solace, their torment finally coming to an end. From that night on, the screaming stones of Dyrhólaey remained silent, their cries finally put to rest. But those who stand upon the cliffs, gazing into the endless sea, sometimes feel as though they are being watched, as if the past still lingers, just beyond the veil of time. The cliffs of Dyrhólaey stand as a testament to the power of history, a reminder of the enduring impact of the past on the present. The whispers of the screaming stones may be gone, but the echoes of their story remain, a haunting reminder of the importance of remembrance and reconciliation. To this day, travelers who visit the cliffs may still feel a shiver in the air, as though echoes of the past remain, but the anguished wails have faded into legend, a ghostly whisper of what once was. The cliffs stand as a silent sentinel, guarding the secrets of the past and offering a breathtaking view of the present. The haunting echoes of Iceland, a tourist's supernatural rescue. Have you ever felt a presence, unseen yet undeniably there? In the remote valleys of Iceland, some say the veil between worlds is thin and the ancient spirits still roam. David Thompson, a Seattle-based freelance photographer, was no stranger to the wild. He chased storms, scaled mountains, and navigated swamps, always seeking the perfect shot. Iceland, with its volcanic fields, glaciers, and tales of ancient beings, was his ultimate dream. He craved the untouched beauty, the raw essence of the land. This solo trip was meant to be his masterpiece, a week of hiking and capturing the untamed wilderness. Little did he know, he was about to stumble upon something far more profound than any photograph. The initial days were a dream come true. Thingvellia's majesty, Hokkadalur's geysers, and the northern lights dancing over Kirkjufell filled his lens. But David yearned for something deeper, something hidden from the typical tourist's gaze. Driven by an insatiable curiosity, he ventured into the West Fjords, far beyond the marked trails. He sought a valley untouched by time, a place where the ancient magic of Iceland still lingered. This desire would lead him down a path he could never have imagined. The day began with promise. Golden brown moss-covered hills stretched endlessly under a lifting mist, the air thick with the scent of damp earth. David followed an old dirt road, captivated by the hauntingly quiet landscape, stopping to capture its essence. He should have turned back. His GPS had long lost signal, but he pressed on, confident in his sense of direction. The road, however, vanished, leaving him stranded in an empty valley, swallowed by the land. A chilling wind swept through the valley, a stark warning. Dark clouds gathered as if the land itself was telling him to leave. He was alone, lost, and about to make a critical mistake. As David considered retracing his steps, a peculiar rock formation caught his eye. It stood like a gate on a jagged ridge, an anomaly in the smooth landscape. An irresistible pull, a photographer's instinct, urged him closer. One more shot, he told himself, ignoring the growing unease. One more, then I'll turn back. This decision would plunge him into a world beyond the realm of ordinary experience. The moment he approached the ridge, the wind intensified, howling between the rocks. The temperature plummeted, but he pressed on, driven by an unseen force. His boots crunched on the damp earth as he climbed over a boulder, camera in hand. Then the ground betrayed him. His foot slipped on wet moss and he tumbled down the rocky embankment. A searing pain shot through his leg as he landed with a sickening thud. He was injured, alone, and vulnerable. As David lay there, struggling to breathe through the pain, He heard it, a whisper, barely audible above the wind. Then he saw her. A woman stood at the edge of the ridge, watching him with an unnerving stillness. She was dressed in archaic Icelandic clothing, a thick woolen dress, an apron, and a heavy shawl. Her long, braided hair was tucked under a bonnet, and her face possessed an ageless quality. Her presence was undeniably strange, ethereal. "Hey!" David called out, his voice strained. "I need help." The woman remained silent, but she raised a hand, gesturing for him to follow. A primal instinct, a desperate hope, compelled him to obey. Despite the agonizing pain, David pushed himself up and followed the woman. She moved effortlessly through the valley, gliding over the uneven terrain as if guided by an unseen hand. He struggled to keep pace, each step a fresh wave of agony. The landscape around him blurred, the air thick with an almost palpable energy. The world grew eerily silent. No wind, no birds, only his ragged breathing and the faint rustling of her skirts. "How do you know where you're going?" he asked, his voice hoarse, but she offered no reply. Time seemed to lose all meaning as they walked. Finally, they reached a narrow dirt road, and in the distance David saw the warm glow of a farmhouse. Relief washed over him. He turned to thank his mysterious guide, but she was gone. She had vanished without a trace. No footprints marked her passage, no sign that she had ever been there. A cold dread washed over David, a sense that he had encountered something beyond human comprehension. He barely made it to the farmhouse before collapsing on the porch. An elderly Icelandic farmer and his wife rushed to his aid, their faces growing grim as he recounted his experience. "You say she wore old clothes?" the farmer asked, his voice low and grave. David nodded, describing the woman's archaic attire. The old man exchanged a knowing glance with his wife before turning back to David. "You met one of them," he said, his voice barely a whisper. "One of who?" David asked, his heart pounding. "The Huldufolk," the farmer replied. David had read about Iceland's hidden people, supernatural beings who dwelled in the land unseen by most, but he had always dismissed it as folklore. "Many who get lost in the valleys never return," the farmer continued, his eyes filled with ancient knowledge, "unless one of them chooses to help." David wanted to argue, to find a rational explanation, but the farmer's words resonated with an unsettling truth. The next day, David returned to the valley, determined to find the path the woman had led him down. But there was no sign of it, no footprints, no ridge that matched his memory. It was as if the entire encounter had been a dream. Yet David knew it was real. Without the mysterious woman's guidance, he would have never made it out alive. He had been touched by something ancient, something supernatural, something that defied explanation. Years later, David still recounts his story, his voice filled with a mixture of awe and disbelief. Some believe him, others dismiss it as a hallucination brought on by pain and exhaustion. But every time he looks at the photograph he took just before the fall, a misty valley with a strange, shadowy figure standing at its edge, he knows the truth. He knows that Iceland's hidden people are more than just a legend. They are a part of the land, a force that can both help and hinder those who dare to venture into their domain. The mystery remains, a haunting echo in the vast, untamed wilderness of Iceland. Have you been captivated by David's chilling encounter? Do you yearn to explore the supernatural mysteries that lie hidden in the world around us? Share this story with fellow supernatural enthusiasts and spark a conversation about the existence of hidden realms. Delve deeper into Icelandic folklore and uncover the secrets of the Huldufolk. Embark on your adventure and explore the remote corners of the world, but always remember to respect the ancient spirits that may be watching. The truth is out there, waiting to be discovered. Are you brave enough to seek it? But this is only the beginning. There are countless stories still to be told, haunting legends, incredible real-life rescues, and myths that blur the line between reality and the unknown. And I'm here to share them all with you. And don't forget to share this video with fellow adventurers who crave a great tale. Every like, comment, and share helps bring more incredible stories to life. Join me and let's uncover the next great mystery together. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. The next story awaits.